Everyone, it's me, Dave Ocean with Exoticca. How are you today? Welcome to everyone from all over the world. Let's get started with this program, but before we do, I want to show you a little video, get you in the mood for Exoticca. Here we go.
Yeah, that's me. And this is the moment when I saw my life flashing before my eyes and realized I had to live more.
Action!
They showed up. They had a plan. They'd put you in the chair, make you director, and tell you, go.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
I was stuck. But deep inside, I knew there had to be more. You're in charge, you're the boss, you're the director.
It has to be wilder. Hey! Hey, can you bring it up? Greater. Magnificent. I really want my wife to see this.
Bring in his wife, please.
More romantic.
It has to be more epic.
What did you wish for?
That it's affordable.
Yeah, let's try some frog.
Your little boy's fine. Your little boy's just having a bit of an adventure. Okay? Yes, I know, Mummy. Yes, we miss you too. Exoticca. Exoticca, Mummy. This is what I want to see, flashing before my eyes. And cut. That was extraordinary.
They brought in his wife and they're looking at the stars and she says, "What do you wish for?" And he said that it's affordable. Well, Exoticca is offering affordable travel to exotic destinations all over the world. And as you know, with that in mind, we're going to give you an introduction to the company with the next slide. So here's a team. That's Mike, who heads up the USA and Canada, and that's your team across the USA. I want you to take a picture of this because it's color-coded, and what you want to do is be in touch with the person that covers your territory. Or, if you forget all of that, you can just send it off to me, okay? So if you need this information, I think it's listed here with Archer Travel for your reference points on Exoticca. And the next slide is, if you're in Australia, or if you're in Mexico, or if you're in the UK, these are your primary contact people. There's Dennis, there's JC, and there's Neil, who heads up the UK. Moving along, we're going to look at company updates. So for the company updates, just to give you a little background on the company, we're from Barcelona, Spain, right? We've got 500 employees. We do a lot of things around the world. You see that we go to 300 plus. We have 300 plus itineraries, 78 countries we go to. And on the next slide, I'm just going to explain a little bit more about Exoticca to you, because Exoticca operates out of US and Canada, Mexico, you know about, Australia and the UK. But I just wanted to point out that all these countries listed on the right, all of those people are going to all of the 70 plus countries around the world on our 330, 40 different itineraries. So they all travel with us and they go across the world on our tours and they experience a tour in the language from the country that they come from. So the next thing we'd like to talk about is the advisor experience, right? So what is going to happen 2025 into 26? Ease of booking. ease of booking. When you book a package, people go like, hey, what does the package include, right? Those prices look great. What does it include? It includes your international air, which means that you have a choice from basic economy for those people who want to travel with a backpack, all the way up to first class. Premium seats, seat assignment, business class, lay flat seats, all of that. You can do all of that with us. You're like, all right, what about the hotels? Well, the hotels come 3, 4, or 5-star. You can pick the one you like. Everyone's a little bit different. You can't customize it, but you can personalize the itinerary. It includes all your daily activities. And by the way, the hotels all come with breakfast. The booking experience gives you the ability to add optional tours because we don't pack your day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We give you time to actually do some stuff that you want to do while you're on tour, seeing all the most important things in that destination or that city. And so it includes all the daily activities, right? And you're guided. 95% of our tours are guided, and they're guided by the local expert host. So now, what else can you do with Exoticca? You've got 2 other ways to travel. You've got 2 ways to travel with us. One is you can do a private tour. A private tour simply is 2 people or 4 people or 6 people on a tour with their own vehicle, with their own tour guide. Or you can book into our group tour departures, and we're going to have maybe 26, 32 people on that on average for those tours. Okay, so let's tell you a little bit more about how Exoticca is going to help you by digitalizing the supply chain. So imagine that we've got all these itineraries, we got all these activities, they're all over the world, they're all in these countries, and Exoticca wants to put them in one place for you so you can see everything in real timing, real prices, real details of what the tour looks like. And so we've put all of that into technology. You can book it online, you can book it with your phone, you can go through the whole set of things like that with us. So if you look at deeper into our technology, which I'm going to show you on the next slide, and it concerns real-time pricing on a calendar. So if imagine that you're talking to a customer, or imagine that you're working something out with a customer, and you are online, you're in the booking portal, you'll see a calendar like this, and it'll tell you that the 19th or the 18th is a lower price than the 3rd of the month. And so when you're talking to someone who's got flexible vacation time or they're price sensitive, you can use this tool to speak with the customer in a very meaningful way because the pricing is dynamic, right? And as we go through this presentation, on the next slide, I'm going to show you some other stuff. So the new tools and functionalities are Traveler's app. We all live in a digital world. We all have a smartphone, although some people still have a dumb phone or a flip phone, but we've got a smartphone. We've got a computer, you've got a tablet, you've got some device like that. And with Exoticca, all of that's on your phone, and your phone's in your pocket. And if you have a client that likes paper, guess what? We can work with them too. Simply print out the itinerary. Just print it out. Hand it over to them. You know what they're going to do? They're going to fold it and put it in their pocket, just like their electronic device. So the detailed itinerary is on the phone. Hotels and flights are on the phone. Documentation, space, all of this stuff is on the phone. We're using WhatsApp from the smart device because most countries in the world, most people in the world use WhatsApp. It's the most popular messaging app ever. You can make calls over it. You can do all these wonderful things. So Exoticca has that lined up for you, plus some other stuff, which we'll talk about right now. We also have Flight Selector. Who knows how to do the price block for 48 hours? And who has done the onboarding? We've got marketing assets. We've got last minute deals showing up all the time. And we're going to review all of those. So here we go. When you are in the portal, this is what you're looking at. You have the option of picking best price. That is the lowest price available. It could be a very restrictive ticket. It could mean that you go to the airport with your backpack or your small carry-on and you jump on the plane and you sit where they tell you. Or, as a provider of a serious professional of travel, what you're going to want to do is look at recommended so that you can select the best flights for the client, right? This means that you want a seat assignment. This means that you want a ticket that's upgradable because they might go, wow, I'm going to be on a plane for 16 hours. I want a good seat. And they might want to upgrade. So that's why we have that in the middle for you. It says recommended. Or you have the client that's too tall to sit in a regular seat, or you have the client that just wants a little bit of luxury for this trip because it's that once in a lifetime bucket list trip that they're going on. They might want a premium fare. They might want a business class seat. So Exoticca gives you those things, like I mentioned before in the summary, to work through all of this for your client. More new tools are Price Block. So what is Price Block? We got feedback from you guys, the advisors, and it says, well, I've got the price, but you keep telling me I have to book it now or the price goes away. So we said, all right, fine. What we'll do is we'll give you the 48-hour price block, and the price block gives you the ability to hold that price, and even if the airfare goes up, it's still the same price while you talk to your clients. They think about it for 24 hours. You call them up and you go, hey man, this thing's gonna go away in the next few hours. I need the credit card, and you close the sale and you move on from there. So we're trying to take some of that stress off of it. We're trying to give you the ability to sell more, offer better value to your client. So let's go through to the next couple slides where we're gonna talk about the value proposition for you. So pay attention to this, right? Because this piece right here is so important. You'll see that airplane on the screen. It says guaranteed departures. What do I mean by that? You might be working with a company and they call you up and they go like, hey, you remember that tour that's a month from today? We have to cancel it, or we have to change departure dates. And you go, this is bad. This is really bad. I don't feel good, because now you have to call the client and the client's not going to be happy. If you work with us, guaranteed departures down to 2 people. 2 people. So if Exoticca's number I mentioned was 26 or 32, and we have 2 people, that tour is still going to go. I think that's great value. I don't know of any other company that operates like that, but if there are others, they're doing something right, because I know we're doing it right when we do that. We talked about the 48-hour price block. I'm gonna mention the onboarding team for you, but we'll dig deeper into that as we go along. I think we have the most intuitive technology around, but we also are going to give you live training, which is the onboarding on that. We talk about instant quotes. What does that mean? Well, you ever have that customer, they just come to you all the time and ask you for stuff, and you know they're not quite serious, but you need to give them a quote. You need to keep them engaged. That's how you're going to build your business, because they tell other people how nice you are by just giving them quotes. You can download a quote from Exoticca in a few minutes once you learn how to use the booking tool really well. You get a nice, pretty PDF flyer. It's multiple pages, emailable, printable. You can share it with people. At Exoticca, we know that your clients have points, they have miles, they have accumulated all this stuff, and they may not want to buy a full package of international air plus the land side. So as an advisor, and only advisors has this perk, you can book land only. This is a really great option for your clients who have other things going on and they can use their points or miles. We have a tool called Instant Commissions. Now with Archer, we don't have that, but basically Instant Commission is when you make your first deposit, 30 days later, you get your first piece of commission off of that. When the customer travels, 30 days after they travel, you get the second part of your commission. But we don't have that set up for you here right now, right? Because it's 2 pieces of commission, and it's kind of hard to track. And in this case, we're just keeping it simple to your benefit and to everyone's ease and peace of mind. And my final point, which is the most important one, which I like to call your paycheck. Full commissions on all trip components. How does that work, Dave? What do you mean by that, Dave? Here's what I mean. The hotel may have one commission. The tour might have a different commission. The optional tours that you add in could have a different commission. Depends on who you're working with and all of that. Here's how significant non-commissionable items are. Airline tickets come with airport fees, surcharges, all kinds of charges. Real example, for real. I bought a last-minute ticket, $4,300 on Air France. I was going to Egypt. Air France sends me the breakdown. I looked at like page and a half of stuff and added up all those different fees. $1,200 of that whole ticket was taxes, fees, and charges. Now, if you book 2 of those for your client going to Egypt, you would have lost out on $2,400 on commission, because lots of other companies don't include that. You would have lost out, let me say it again, on $2,400 of commission. At Exoticca, whatever the package says, $5,000, which is about the average cost of our trips for 2 people for a week, or $10,000, or whatever you sell it for, you're gonna get full commission on that. I don't know about you, but if you are building business and growing business and this is your paycheck, it's kind of nice to know that you're getting paid on the whole thing, right? That's how I feel about it, and I hope you feel the same way too. So let's look at some other stuff here. We talked about training, and when you do the training, which is about 45 minutes, it's live, you've got Q&A, you've got all of that stuff. We go through the booking platform. We teach you about all the stuff in the portal. We're actually going to give you a $200 reward commission. So you make your booking, you get your regular commission, and the reward certificate is good for 3 months, and you get that on top of your regular commissions. Okay? All right, next. Basically, this slide says, and we know this because we do a lot of analytics, it says that when you do the training, you're twice as good, you're twice as fast, you're more confident, and it gives you the ability to quote, build, convince, and close sales in a lot faster. And was it yesterday or the day before, we were talking about that in my other presentations, that people who go through training, my training, any training, it's the way to build your confidence, build your brand, and do better at what you do, right? So sign up and do the training with us. Moving right along. So when you're in the portal, this is what it looks like. You'll see that we have a section that says training. Once you click that, it's going to open up where you can get the links to talk to and train with Andrea or Josefina. There's a little short video in there for self-training. That video does not come with the $200 bonus, but if you talk to Andrea or Josefina, it comes with that. Let's show you some other stuff. Resource library. Why is this important? This is super important because if you're building out stuff or you're talking to a client, you want to engage people, you just need a little bit of information, you can go into the portal, click the links, open up the resource library, and you see that big blue arrow, it says videos. But I'm going to show you some other stuff. So let's look at the other slide. You can get videos in there. You can get PDF flyers like this. There's a wide array of things. And Exoticca does 2 things at the same time. We produce things that you can use directly with the consumer. So we know that PDFs don't work with social media, but we know that pictures, JPEGs and PNGs and all of that work really well. And we want to design them in a way where they capture your attention, right? And then we know the PDFs are there because you might need something more detailed, it's longer. You can use that and print it or email it to people. Let's show you some other stuff on our next slide. So this is actually Norway, the Balkans, and Greece is a promo that you book, get commission, plus a top up, which is $200 more. And if the client spent $10,000 with us, they would get a $1,000 discount. How cool is that? I mean, when you engage people and you talk to them, you're like, hey, I know that you're looking for a deal. Boy, do I ever have a deal for you. And this package that you're going on to Greece, with the airfare that you got, pushes the two of you up close to $10,000. So why don't I just add in a dinner for like another $150 per person, get you to 10, and then you get $1,000 off. You see where I'm coming from when I tell you this stuff? We do a lot of these things and they're there for you. So take advantage of it. I'm going to show you something else in the next slide. Take advantage of all this stuff, right? So we're talking about Greece. This is a little video. Check it out. This is yours to use if you want it. Yeah, extraordinary trips without the hassle. Extraordinary trips without the hassle. This is Exoticca. Great trips. You can go to Greece. And if you want that video, look for it on the website. And if you can't find it, holler at me and I'll set you up on that. So we just talked a lot about regular bookings. Let's talk a little bit about groups and how they work. So a group, as you see right there, is 10 packs in 5 rooms. And if you're good at it and you want to go for free yourself, you need 20 people and you get 1 tour conductor. If you get 40 people, that's really hard to do. But if you get 20, a lot of people can do 20. You get the tour conductor. You just need to buy your international air. Here's something really cool. If 20 people fall short and you're missing the tour conductor, we'll get you 50% off, right? If it's between 10 and 19 passengers. So if you started at 22 and you end up at 16, you can get 50% off as a tour conductor discount. So we're still gonna help you. We're gonna make it easier for you on your personal travel, right? Okay, so if you're at 12 people and you fall short and you're at 8, we're not gonna cancel, you're not gonna go in penalties. What we're going to do is move you over into the area called shared. And once you get moved over there, you kind of like fall in line with our everyday departures. But we're going to ensure that all of your 8 people are in the same hotel on the same bus with the same tour guide. Because originally it was supposed to be 10. And if it was 10, it would have been private. And if it was private, they would have had what? They would have had their own guide in their own vehicle. So we can help you keep the business as we go along, right? Because we believe that we should help you to whatever degree of success that you end up having with. We're going to help you get there no matter what. So let's talk about some other stuff. Remember that groups can be affinity groups or groups can be spec groups. Now, if you have a spec group, yeah, let's go back to the other one. Yeah, if you have a spec group right here is good. If you have a spec group and you're trying to build that out, this is fantastic. Because here's what happened. Last week, you emailed to Exoticca, you filled out the groups form, and you say, hey, I want to go on a group to the Balkans. I want a group. I want to go to Sri Lanka. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to the Dominican Republic. I want to go to Costa Rica. Oops, sorry. Oops. I'm glad I made that mistake. We don't do groups to Costa Rica because we can't guarantee the quality of service, and we don't do groups to Japan Those two countries in particular, we can't build your groups there. But everything else we can, right? Everything else we can. So you've got a spec group, you put in for the quote, and you get the quote back today. That's day one. And you've got 7 days to say, hey Dave, I like the quote, let's go with it. And we'll reply back, thanks for acknowledging. And then you have from day 1 to day 37 to talk it over with the people that you want to go on this group. The 10 people or the 20 people. You got 37 days to go back and forth with the quote. And at that point, you need to convince them to put down $250 per person. Yeah? And they go, cool. They put down $250 and we're good to go. And then 4 months before departure, 120 days, 4 months before departure, you need to collect 60%. Excellent, right? Just set it up, you know it's going to happen, tell them how it's going to work. And then 2 months before departure, you need to collect the rest. And then the fun begins, the back and forth and figuring stuff out, and people change their minds and all these little details need to be worked out, but your group's well on its way at that point. Okay? So let's look at the next slide, because I've got a business idea for you here on the next slide. So because it is your group and you're in charge of the information that goes to your clients, this could be really helpful to you. This is a way for you to get a win for yourself and a win for the group. Now remember I said 120 days before was the first 60% down payment, but with this stuff, you tell them that they need to put the 60% down 6 months before. It's your group. You control the information. And they put the 60% down 6 months before. And guess what happens for you? You get an extra 2%. You get an extra 2% bonus. Guess what happens for the client? They get $150 free excursion per passenger, which you would take and go like, hey, this is the most interesting thing that we can ever do as a group. Let's do that. You set it up all for them. They get something and you get something, yeah? So let's show you a little bit with the next slides about what's going on. More information on groups. Best sellers. You see all of that there? Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, Thailand, Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands, Portugal, and Peru, Machu Picchu. By the way, Portugal is our #1 seller globally, followed by Peru, Machu Picchu is #2. Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands is #3 for us. Egypt is our #4 bestseller, which is still open and running as we speak. And South Africa is after that. Okay, so let's look at some other stuff here. Let's look at our top selling products. That's a quick list. This is actually from our brochures that we have for advisors. Let's look at some more. We're going to go through these real quick. This right here is top sellers in Europe. It's all the stuff that you want to do. And if people go to Europe all the time and they want to do something else, they can do the Balkans, right? We've got that. Let's look at whatever. Let's look at some other things that we have lined up for you. We're going to go through the continents that we're on, like South America. You can do combination single country tours, or you can do combination tours like Brazil and Argentina, or Peru and Brazil. Our longest tour is on the next slide, which is in Asia, I believe. Our longest tour is in Asia. You can go away for a month, right? Asia is fantastic. I went to India. That tour to India, wow, that Taj Mahal is unbelievable. I took pictures, sent it to my friends, and they thought it was a made-up Photoshop picture, and it was just from my little old Android phone. They couldn't believe that place. That place is awesome. They get you up early, and you go there in the morning for the sunrise. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everyone should go. You should go see it. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. Africa, bestsellers, Morocco. Incredible place. I've never seen anyone go to Morocco and say I didn't like it. Egypt, I went to. Amazing. The stuff that they built is just mind-blowing. How did they do it, right? Safaris are fantastic. South Africa is a great destination for that because you get more than a safari. You get Cape Town, you get Joburg, you get wineries if you're interested in that. You get Table Mountains, you can see penguins, you can swim with sharks. I love it. And for me personally, I think our safari product, meaning Kenya and going to see the animals and animals only for a week, is amazing. We come in at around $10,000, and you know, other companies sell safaris and some sell some super high-end stuff, but generally speaking, a safari could start at about 25, 35,000. Ours is 10, 12, depending on what level and where you're coming from and what you're doing. Okay, moving along. New stuff. Mauritius, you can go here. Easter Island, all cool things, all exotic stuff. The next slide is going to show you some other new things that you can see. Australia, New Zealand, all of that's great. We're going to show you the next slide, which is a product that you're going to love. Check this out. All right, so got some other things I'm going to show you about family travel, and this is new product for us. What does that mean when you travel with a family? You're with kids, you need to be mindful of them, you need to have some space to explore with the kids. They just don't march all the time, right? They want shorter transfers. You want larger hotels. We want them across the hall, or we want them next door. You know, those kinds of things, right? Kids, what kids remember on their trip is not what we remember. We remember the cooking classes and the quality of the pasta and da-da-da-da and all of this stuff. And the kid remembers how grandpa was eating the pizza and it's flopped on his shirt. So we're trying to design a trip where kids are going to remember stuff and they're going to come back and talk about it for days and weeks and months. And you're going to remember some things as, you know, head of household, family member, the adult. You're going to have different options. And what we want to do as we go through these slides is show you how Exoticca is trying to put this together for you. So it works for you, and it works for your family. We're going to do the next slide. They're in smaller groups, right? Here's some of the product that we have. Just real quick, we're going to jump into the next one. And we're just going to pass through these so you can see them. And then we're going to talk about the loyalty program. Yay! They have a loyalty program. I love the loyalty program. Let's jump to the next slide and just show you how it works. I love this, right? This is a great program. So you've made no bookings with us. Your personal travel is 16% discount. Okay? Here's how personal travel works. You've got friends, you got family. We know that. You need 2 rooms because Exoticca allows you to take maximum 5 people. But realistically, it's going to be double occupancy, and therefore you get 2 rooms, right? So, you know, you're traveling with family members or friends or whatever. They get their own room, you're in your own room. So you make a booking with us. Your first booking, that's your perk, 16%. Silver, 50,000. How do I get there? Oh my gosh, I can't do 50,000. Of course you can. It means 2 groups and a couple bookings. That's all it is. And now you get a milestone commission of $500 in your pocket. And you just moved up your paycheck by $50 per booking. You're like, what? But Dave, what happens if I get to gold? Well, if you get to gold at 100,000 because you like Exoticca and your business is going good and people are talking to each other, Exoticca says, hey, here's $1,000 right there in your back pocket, and guess what happened to your commission again? It just went up by $50 to $100. Amazing, you say. But what if I get to the diamond level? What if you get to the diamond level? We give you $10,000 in your pocket. 10,000. Sorry, getting really excited. $10,000 in your pocket. And your commission is your regular commission plus an extra $200. Bonus. And on top of it, you get 25% discount for your personal trip. 2 rooms, 4 people. I just love this program. I absolutely love it. I hope you're excited about this as I am. Before my happy meter goes off the scale, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, so key contact channels, let's look at that a little bit. What this really means is that we've got different departments doing different things for you. If you got a problem with commissions, two ways. You can email it to TA Commissions. You can email it to your salesperson. You can email it to me. I'll take care of it and tell your salesperson. Advisor support. So how do you book with us? One is use the booking engine, right? Use the booking engine because everything's in there. Pricing, all of that stuff's in there. If you need help, you've got a complicated booking. You've got 3 bookings you need to tie together. What you want to do, guys, you have 3 bookings. You want to give us a call on the toll-free number. Say, I've got these 3 bookings. There are 3 family members. They're from different parts of the country. We need them in the same hotel on the same bus. That's how you do that, right? If you want to deal with group bookings, there is a link. It opens up a Google Sheet. You fill that out for us, okay? All the information is there for you. And with that, we want to move into the next slide. Guess what's coming up? Questions and answers. So if you have any questions, now is your time. And Amanda,
Perfect.
I heard you.
So we have some questions.
Yes.
And the first question, which I feel like they asked us before you went over it, but they're asking what is the most popular destination, or what do you think is the most popular destination?
Well, I know what we sell the most stuff is Portugal, followed by Peru, Ecuador, and Galapagos Islands, Egypt, South Africa. Vietnam from out of Asia is in the mix. Morocco is super popular. Turkey became popular at the end of last year for whatever reason. Everyone wanted to go to Turkey. I haven't been, but I should go. And you know where it came out of left field all year last year was Japan. I mean, not just my company, but other companies in travel too. Maybe you guys selling different things, you heard that. Japan, just like everyone wants to go to Japan. I'm like, okay, I want to go to Japan. I don't want to miss out. So there you go. That's the breakout.
Okay. Perfect. Next question is, can you have a group leave from multiple locations and then join up together?
I love this question because it gives me a chance to explain a bunch of different things to you. When you're selling traveling, you talk to the groups department, or if you're just making individual bookings, on the booking engine, you will see departure gateways, and you can select where that person lives, the state, the international airport that they live closest to, what they're using, right? And they all end up somewhere, whatever country, and person's at the airport with the sign that says Exoticca, and they process you and they take you to your hotel. You get to your hotel, depending on arrival time, you'll get an orientation. If you get there too late or something like that, you might miss it. But the next day you go off on tour. So this is a guided tour. This is 95% of what you're gonna sell. You go off on tour, and every day you do something different. And then let's say you move from Lima to Cusco. They take you to the airport and you fly to the next city, and then the guide picks you up and off you go and you do your running around there. Right? So that's how groups go. So if you've got people in California and people in Florida and people in Michigan, and that adds up to 20 people, the groups department will assist you to move those folks to their destination, because they're going to United Arab Emirates, and then they're going to the Maldives after, which is a combination tour that we offer. So that's how that works. So let me segue into something that I forgot previously to tell you. In that part of personalizing the booking for a client, meaning that you can get the 3, 4, 5-star hotel and they all come with breakfast, right? Or they can get the different kinds of air. If a client wants to go in early, if you're on a plane for 12 or 16 hours, you might want to go in early and get there a day early, or 2 days early, or 3 days early. We can do that they might want to stay 2 or 3 or 4 days late. We can do that. So we'll take the international air in, arrange that for them, but they start, their hotels that we offer are where the tour starts, right? So you can't, if the tour starts in Lisbon, you can't say, well, I want to go over somewhere else and start there, because you've got to use the hotels that we have in our program where the tour starts, or use the hotels at the end where the program ends with the hotels that we have. So you can do all of these personalizations and little adjustments for the client so that they get the best out of the tours. So we just talked about what I'm going to call a guided tour. There's another option which exists in Europe and exists in Japan in particular, and that is called self-guided. So this is for your very independent traveler. They don't need any hand-holding. They can figure stuff out. They study up. They like to travel that way. And they go there, they stay in a hotel, and there's set tours for them to go on, but they're not being picked up at their hotel like at the guided tours. They got to find their way and do those things on their own. And they're perfectly content doing that, and that's actually what they want. And then there's a third style, which I'm going to call escorted. And escorted primarily happens in Egypt, Israel, Turkey, Jordan, Morocco, that part of the world that Americans generally call the Middle East. And also in India, you can get escorted tours. And what that means is that you have a primary person that's with you for the duration of the entire trip. So when I went to Egypt, I was with Mohammed. And when we went to India, we were with Narendra. And those guys were with us the whole time. We learned about when they were kids, their parents, their life experiences. We learned about their favorite foods. We learned that Muhammad is always going to be a bachelor. And we learned that when Narendra got married, he comes from a small town outside of Delhi, or somewhere in the countryside, I forget where. But this guy had 2,000 people at his wedding. And how he got married and how it worked out and the family, all of that we learned. We learned that you don't just pick a name and you name your kid. Naming a kid in India is kind of like a community effort, and they figure out a bunch of things about you and then they give you a name. You know, so we learned a lot of those things. You might not get that kind of feeling for someone and their life if you have a guide that they pick you up at 8 o'clock or 8:30 or whenever, and they run around with you for half a day and they drop you back at the hotel at 3:30, right? You might not get all of that from them. But when you're with someone who is nice and knowledgeable and friendly, like an escorted tour, and if you got a person that you connect with, it gives such an enriching experience for you. So yeah, those are our 3 touring styles. Next question.
Perfect. Okay. We had some people asking about who their local BDM was, so I just pulled the screen up while you were discussing the last question.
Yeah.
And should they reach out to their local BDM for anything like they need? What should they reach out to their local BDM for? Actually, that's a better question.
All right. So you're up in Nancy's area, you know, which is Illinois and around there, and you go, hey Nancy, I'm going to this travel fair and I need some flyers. I looked in the library. I don't see anything that works because it has to do with the dog show. Can you put something together for me that pertains to that? And also, I've got this logo and point of contact, and I have it in SVG or vector, which is high resolution stuff. I've got that all lined up. Can you get that on a flyer for me for my brand? So I want to build business because it's a consumer event. So you go to Nancy and she says, yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you. And any of us will work with you at that level. All right, so you don't quite understand something because you've done the training for the booking portal, but there's other things that come up. Like when did I commission get paid? What's going on with here? What's going on with there? Just stuff that your clients might ask you and you don't have an answer, you come to us, okay? So that's what we're here for. You might have an idea that, wow, I want to do Facebook. I have a website. My website's getting a lot of eyeballs, but I need more. I need more because if they come to my website, they get information and they book, and then I can book more Exoticca. And you have like this business idea and you need to figure out some stuff, yeah? That's what your sales team is there for, to help you build and grow and market. So it could be marketing, it could be various ideas. Every idea is worth listening to. Not every idea is worth implementing. And you might be asking for resources that are beyond what we can offer, like you want $90,000. Yeah, I'm joking. Nobody ever does that. But we'll work with you, we'll help you build your business, and we'll help grow your business, right? So we do two things for you at the same time. One is we help you navigate and manage through the company, which is what most people come to us for. And two, if you're in build it mode, you can come to us and go, hey, I'm in build it mode. Here's my goal, here's my aspirations. I want to get to diamond level, right? I'm at gold, and here's my ideas. Give us a call and we'll help you.
Perfect, thank you. Is there any indication that the current administration may have a negative effect on Exoticca or any of its travel out of the USA?
Are we talking politics?
I don't think I think that's a politic question. Yeah, I'm not gonna skip that one.
Well, I can answer it.
Indication that travel's gonna go down. If anything, travel's blooming. So I don't.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Okay.
Let's talk about this, because I did get a feedback the other day. They were going to Egypt, you know, and they were like, well, the State Department says reconsider travel. Don't take my word for it. Here's a pro tip, because I've been around, and there's this thing called Sherpa, SHERPA. It's a website, and you open it up. They might want your email and stuff like that. So anyway, you're on there and you type in Madagascar, and you tell it what you want. It's so easy to use. It's like seconds of work. Boom, and it gives you an answer. What it does is it goes to the USA State Department website, and it gives you the page and even the paragraph that's relevant to the information that you're looking for. And so I always refer people back to the USA State Department's government websites. Now, when you get on there, give it 20 minutes of your time and look at various different countries. And why am I suggesting that? Because the USA is trying to protect its residents and its citizens that travel abroad. So it gives you a base suggestions or ratings of what to think about before you make decisions for your personal travel. Okay? And then you can take that information in a very neutral way. Leave the politics out, leave whatever out, the emotions out, and say to your client, hey, I've got this information. It's from the government, USA government website. Have a look at it, make a decision, tell me what you think, and if you decide that you don't want to do it, let me know. We can find something else for you. What does that do for you and your client? It immediately says to your client, I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at resources that are factual and actual, and it's the US government. And so based on that, I'm helping you make the best decision for your personal trip. Make sense?
That's a wonderful answer. I don't think anyone could have answered it any better. I mean, really, you're just building credibility for yourself because you're showing you've done the research, you're getting the resources, and you're finding actual facts for them to go by. So, absolutely beautiful, wonderful answer, Dave. Next question is, does Exoticca have luxury hotel upgrade if clients are interested in it?
So Exoticca's average client is 45 to 55. They spend about $6,000 on an average trip. They go away on a 9-day tour. Sorry, that's 7 nights in destination, 9 days traveling. It's for an easygoing client. Imagine that you could be in a charm hotel. So let's say that's a Ramada. You know, cozy, quaint, clean. The room's not too big. Bathroom's good. Everything's solid. Breakfast is good. Staff is friendly. and you're in an older hotel because you're in Europe, or you're in some part of the world that's a great location where you can walk out your front door and do stuff, right? So that's kind of like a 3-star. Imagine a 4-star would be like a Crown Plaza, something like that, you know? Solid, everyone likes it, a Holiday Inn, a Spring Hill Suites, maybe a Courtyard Marriott, sort of. And I want to say this, when I talk about hotels, you got to give me a wide latitude on this, because if you looked at France, if you look at Italy, which are big tourist destinations, right? You guys know Rick Steves. He takes you into these little places and they show you all these things. Even within a city like, say, Florence, there is no rule for what a 3, 4, or 5-star hotel is. We're fortunate here in the US where a Holiday Inn is a Holiday Inn. The rooms all come with either a king bed or 2 queen beds, and the rooms are roughly all the same size, and the bathrooms are roughly all the same size. A Hilton hotel works similarly, slightly different style. The Marriott Bonvoy hotels work similarly, slightly different style. But when you go internationally, and I don't mean all-inclusive international, when you go internationally, that rule is out the door. So if you go on our website, there's pictures on every hotel, or a range of hotels that we have, and you can look at the pictures, and there's TripAdvisor reviews, and then you can open up a different browser and dig deeper into that if you think your client's going to need that category. So long story to answer the question, finally, like, whew, dude, you can talk too much. It's like,
They're great answers.
yeah, but listen, man, if the client says, wow, I want the Westin Hotel in Pasadena, that is not an Exoticca client. That is a Westin Hotel client. You get me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, when people start asking you for like that, I want their business, I really do. I'm not telling you to send them somewhere else. I want you to show them hotels that we offer. But if the room makes more sense and the hotel is what they express that they're interested in, I don't know. Give us a call. Give your sales team a call. Let's talk about it and see if we can make that a yes for you.
If someone's in the U.S. Virgin Islands, would they use the Florida representative as their local BDM?
I don't know, but I would want to say, yeah, why not? Call Natalie.
Perfect.
She
Awesome.
covers
I
Puerto
think-
Rico, so I think she might cover USVI.
Yeah, I mean, it's near, so it would
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Out of just location.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Dave, and thank you for all the wonderful questions, everyone, today. Absolutely great, and thank you, Dave, for a wonderful presentation. We do have the BDMs posted on the Exoticca page, and if this updated, Dave? Is this
Yeah.
newer than a previous version?
Yeah, Virginia is new. She covers the orange states there in the mountains. And Scott is new. He covers the green states north of Texas. If you're in Australia, and I think everyone in Mexico knows JC. And if you're in the UK and Ireland, that's Neil. So that's
Okay,
your
so
team
we'll
right
get
there.
the new list updated onto the Travel Cafe website for y'all to see this
Yeah.
and reach out to your local BDM if you need to do so.
Yeah.
And Dave, just is there anything else you want to add before we close out?
Last year was amazing. I just want to give love and thank you to everyone. And this year, it's already started out to be a fantastic year. I don't know how Archer Travel manages to do this all the time, but you're a great partner and we love you, we appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. And thanks again, travel agents. You guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Bye all.